Welcome, sweet friends. Tonight we bring you the Call of Penance RPG, a Call of Cthulhu adaptation written and GM'd by Belry. We remind you all at this time, there will be adult themes and cursing. So without any further ado, let us return to 1920s Virginia.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Call of Penance RPG. So, why don't we see who everyone is, and seeing as it's the proper start of summer now with all the kids off on the holidays, what is your favourite thing about summer? Starting with Dr. Adrian Zilbare.
Hello, I am Dr. Adrian Zilbare, and I am a doctor. And my favorite thing about summer is probably Bloodstock, since we go every year.
I see, I didn't realise Dr. Adrian was into metal.
Yes.
What about Miss Pendleton?
Hello, I'm Penelope Pendleton. I'm a journalist, and I think my favourite thing about summer is when the kids go back to school in September.
Yeah, I've got the next 6 weeks of all the kids being off, and it's going to be very busy, and I'm very much inclined to agree. But what about you, Miss Tilly White?
Hello there, I am Tilly White. I am also a journalist. I work for the Virginia Post. My favourite thing about summer is probably the fact that we take our summers earlier. So we have only got another 3 weeks of all the children being off school.
Nobody likes the children.
I want to offer you a very polite but pointed fuck you.
Well, Mr. Voice in the Sky, that's not very polite.
No, it wasn't intended to be.
Someone pissed in his strawberry tea.
Yo.
Somewhat right. Okay, story time with Belry. So, first year of uni, we're having a Halloween
about someone
party.
actually
No.
pissing in your strawberry tea and very upset.
Not my strawberry tea. No. First year of uni, Halloween party. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm dressed up as Willy Wonka. Me and my ex... right. Me and my ex leave the party area for a little bit. And I come back, and somebody has pissed in my saucepan.
What?
Like, yeah, just in my saucepan.
Okay.
Was it a big party?
Probably no party is big enough to justify that.
Well, at least no one shat in his kettle.
Yeah.
Well, at least it wasn't the night you went dressed as Wednesday Addams.
There was a
Right.
night you went dressed as
And
Wednesday Addams?
I have got a picture of that.
Oh, we need
That is just Saturday evenings. But yes, anyway.
So what was the result
stop-
of someone pissing in your saucepan?
I threw the saucepan out. I had no idea who it was. I was engaged for a duration of time.
Where are you?
Were you fucking loudly and they thought the only revenge they could have was to piss in your saucepan?
Well, I don't think it was that loudly considering I was like 2 floors up.
Did she come back with a different coloured tongue?
No. What? That's not something that
You're Willy Wonka and you've taken a girl away for 2 hours. I'm expecting
no.
some sort of in-joke here.
Okay. No, I forgot about the Willy Wonka part, to be
Oh,
honest.
for fuck's sake.
I did buy like 50 Wonka bars though and just throw them at people.
You wonder why someone pissed in your saucepan.
No, like, people, I feel like people would... First of all, one, they wouldn't have known it was my saucepan, because it's just a fucking innocuous saucepan. 2, free chocolate. Who's going to complain about free chocolate?
Vegans.
He has a good point. However,
Yes, anyway, I hope you haven't pissed in anybody's saucepans, Victor. What is your favourite thing about summer in France?
I'm Victor. I'm a mechanic. My favourite thing about summer is turning a hose on all the noisy children at the front of my workshop. I'm watching them all run away screaming.
Don't give us ideas, although with that voice it's horrifying.
Child catcher. I'm a tasty cockney child catcher. Solo polo vision.
What about you, Walter Gabe? Please make us feel safer.
Good evening, I'm Walter Gabe. I am slowly descending into madness. And I haven't collected a rock yet, which I'm surprised about. And my favourite thing about summer is sitting outside in a nice chair, reading a book with a nice cold drink next to me in the nice sun.
Fair enough. It's certainly more wholesome than assaulting children.
Is that where the big block of salt comes in?
Oh.
I think if you throw blocks of salt at children, there's going to be a problem.
If you throw blocks of salt at them, you're going to kill them.
Don't,
Tell the boss
always
emphasise
told
the
in school
positives.
during PE that you had to be really careful when you played cricket, because the cricket ball would kill you.
I don't think it can actually kill you, but it would be
Then
incredible.
I was like, why would we be playing cricket if it's lethal?
Because
Not the
they're
point.
going to just chuck something at you and they
and-
give you something to defend yourself. That's the point. It's to teach you to defend yourself using things.
So, I did work experiences, I did it in the first school. They gave me a group of kids to look after on a cricket pitch. And one of the proper teachers goes, now Ben, be careful of this girl, because she has no sense of get hit in the face with a cricket ball.
She has no sense of what?
And I'm like, gee,
Kind of spazzed
thanks.
No sense
She's
of
what's
doubt.
Direction.
No sense
Depth
of-
perception.
Oh,
Depth perception.
Oh, right.
yeah, that's unfortunate.
So yeah, that was the deal kit to put in under the ward of 16-year-old Ben.
Yes, come here, child!
Yeah,
Not
just don't aim
that
for her
way.
face.
Luckily, she did not get hit in the face with a cricket ball.
That's
Where
good.
did she get hit then?
Nowhere, because I'm actually a responsible guardian. Thank you very much.
Ah, so basically you got hit because you told her, throw that to me! No depth perception!
No, he jumped in the way. I think he's meaning Greg.
What, like some Mr. President shit?
Or, he just didn't need to because it didn't come up. Because he made sure.
Bodyguard,
Yeah.
I can just see it.
You know what?
Bodyguard versus Wednesday Adams.
Dear
Yep.
listeners, I leave it up to you as to what happened that night. Jesus Christ, 9 years ago. Anyway, what happened last week?
Well, I have some notes.
Hooray!
Hey!
So, last week, we climbed down the ladder that was in the wardrobe, and that shaft and the tunnel that we came into at the bottom seemed to be pretty recent, which was really odd. And there were kerosene lanterns, hanging on the side. The smoke from Mr. Gabe's cigar was blowing behind us, so there must have been airflow coming in from somewhere. So we went down the tunnel to investigate, and we came across a large room that had a hexagonal altar with carving and what looks like crystallized blood in the channels. On the other side of the room, there was big, impressive doors, which had a image of a man sacrificing someone and liquid flowing into the mouths of children. So we went through those doors, and then there was 12 or 15 jelly baby people, and they initially weren't aggressive, but they started to copy us, and then they became aggressive. There was a lectern on the other side of the room, and when I stood there, they completely froze. It was really bizarre, quite creepy, and someone got caught and was trying to burn off the jelly baby arm slowly. It was quite disturbing. So we went through the only other entrance in that room, and it was a nursery with tiny jelly babies in cots, and they were eating the crystallized sugar, and they were quiet, and then they started screaming and screaming, and it almost looked like someone was trying to build an army. So we pushed all of the cots together and set them on fire, and the sound and the smell were just horrendous. However, we managed to escape from there through the other door. So we were at a cave entrance, and we managed to get out, and we went back to the plantation. Well, Snide and Walter went back to the plantation house and were looking in the outbuildings, and when they returned, they had some rusted sacrificial knives with them. And then there was an air, like a shockwave, like an air pressure shockwave, and we don't know what that was. That's where we finished.
Yes, it was. So yes, the sort of shockwave, I guess, yes, for want of a better term, it seemed to be coming back from the town itself, back where you came originally from. And they sort of keep happening about 5 or so minutes apart. There's like another whoomph, and just the air pressure again changes. So yeah, you were all sitting, I believe it was at the mouth of the cave?
Yes.
Yes. What is the plan?
I'm tempted to say we should go and find out what's happening in the town.
Can we look down at the town and see if there's anything obvious to see, like any smoke, fires, difference, something like that?
As I believe I think I described it this last... When you look over towards it, there's no sort of fire or smoke or anything like that, but it's almost like a heat haze. It's not a heat haze, but like everything looks wavy and warped, like cracked. It doesn't look right.
What is the temperature here like?
Temperature, it's fairly normal. It hasn't changed from when you got there, really. It's a bit cooler as it's gotten a bit later in the day, but it's about what you would expect in terms of the temperature.
I was going to say, what kind of day are we at as well?
Again, it's a fairly regular day.
What time of day?
Oh, time of day. It's probably looking at about 7, 8 o'clock.
In the
at
evening?
Night. In the evening, yes.
So it's usually not
Well, we started in the morning, so we've been gone all day.
I think it's warm, but it's not like cold. It's fairly temperate. It's what you would expect at this time of year, whichever time of year we said it was. Quite honestly, I can't remember what time of year we decided it was.
I guess we better go back to Victor's workshop and see what the town's like.
That seems reasonable. I mean, we don't seem to be losing too much time by travelling.
Well, there's nothing else we can really do here, is there?
No, it sounds like a good plan. Back to the workshop.
Unless you want to wait and see who it is that's coming from that jelly baby person, but they could be some days.
I think back to the workshop, because we have waited and checked. There's been no signs of activity around here.
We could always leave Mr. McBride on watch.
We could.
Yes,
We
I
could.
think that's an excellent plan.
It is. So yeah, you just leave Mr. McBride there. You leave what's left of the picnic you brought as well. Feel like leave him something to keep him busy.
Yeah.
And yeah, you start the hike back. It takes about an hour and a half. So let's say it's 9 o'clock by the time you start coming up to the town. Like even while you're there, the sort of heat haze wobbliness is still there, and these sort of shockwaves have kept happening every 5 minutes or so. As you've been getting closer, you've been noticing almost like lights, similar to like an aurora borealis, like almost sort of flashing. Well, not really flashing, but just sort of coming and then going quite quickly. Flashing implies too bright, I feel.
So like a sort
Like
of
these,
star storm.
sort of, except it seems to be quite localized in the town, quite low down. Like it goes down to as low as about chest height, and it doesn't seem to be getting much higher than most buildings.
Does it seem to be coming from a particular place?
No, it just seems to be happening in the town. They get denser as you get closer and you work your way into the actual town itself.
But they always seem to be behind the buildings, if you know what I mean.
Not really behind the buildings as such, they're around you as well.
So being
It's just
surrounded
that
by
the
stars.
No, not stars, just like light almost, but quite dim light.
So,
And it's like coloured like dull greens and blues and pinks and like that.
so like the colour dyes that are used in Candy.
Could be.
Okay.
I assume that your hand moves, they move with it, yes?
They're sort of scatter, they're not reacting to it. It's like if you moved your hand through coloured water, like if you had some dye in water and you moved your hand through that.
Yeah, and it just kind of
like the current-
swirls and
Yeah, they're not reacting to your hand as such, like they're just sort of reacting to the current more than anything, I guess.
Curious.
So is he continuing to the workshop?
Guess so.
yeah.
Okay, again, get further into the town. you can see slightly in the distance it looks like it's snowing.
It's snowing.
Is it the right time of year for snow?
Yeah, what time of year is
No,
it?
spring. That's just
Oh, that's very weird.
Is it actually snow though?
it's entirely too hot as well for it to be snow. Like it's hot, but it's not cold enough for snow.
Right.
I guess maybe we should go and investigate the snow.
Yes, I think we should.
Yeah.
You notice as you make your way to the snow, you can see there's the river to your side, and it seems to be following the river. As you make your way into the snow, it hits you. It doesn't feel cold. It doesn't feel slippery. It feels sticky, if anything.
Can we taste
It's
the
definitely
snow?
white. It's definitely. You
Is it-
can certainly taste the snow.
Yeah, is it sugar snow?
Just roll a random d20. It is very clearly, very obviously icing.
Oh,
Icing.
Vanilla flavored
interesting.
icing.
Can
It's
I
laying
take
on the
a-
ground is no word.
Can I take a vial out
Um,
and start collecting some in a vial?
Sure, you have a vial of vanilla flavored icing.
okay, so we didn't see any of this up at the plantation. Only round the town.
Yes, it's very localized
How are the
to
rest?
sort of this area of the town.
How are the
Is
rest of the
it-
population reacting?
You haven't seen anyone else yet.
It's
You're
more
noticing as you're starting to get into the icing snow, you can see footprints, humanless men, women, children in the snow. They all seem to be going the same direction.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
What,
I guess we ought to follow the footprints then.
What's the
Yes.
layout of the footprints? Are they running? Are they walking?
There's too many of them, to be honest. You can't
Yeah, but
tell. They're just
Are there
a jumbly
full
mess.
footprints? Are there full footprints or are there half prints like running?
They're like full footprints, but there's that many of them. It's too much of a mess to make out any real specific footprints. So
Okay.
if anyone
Can we check
was
like
running,
shops and stuff like that to see if anywhere's actually open and there's anyone there?
yeah, all of the shops are open, like wide open.
They've
None
just,
of the buildings are locked. They're just
they've
completely
just
abandoned.
abandoned.
Well, it's quite good as well. Snide isn't here.
Yes. Yes, that's fair. Okay, I think we need to follow this. But be very, very careful and very aware.
Well, we could take Victor's car. That would get us a faster way of escaping.
Sounds like a good idea.
I have a
You mean Walter's
car.
car?
Yeah, let's
Isn't it
pinch
Walter's
Walter's.
car that Victor stole?
Yeah. Where's the owner?
Yeah, sure. You make a detour and you grab Walter's car. You find it doesn't have the best traction in the icing.
But you said it wasn't slippery.
It's not slippery, it's sticky, but it's
not
thick
gonna
and
be great
sludgy.
for a car.
It's like driving through mud,
Yeah.
Hmm.
like through thick, sticky mud almost.
Beep beep.
So we've put it on to leave it at the edge of where the icing starts to get thicker. Somewhere that you can easily, to run away, you could easily just hop into it and get going. But as you get closer in, you realise everyone is going and congregating, you start to realise to the East River Confections.
Oh
Sorry,
no.
one.
Oh no.
And as you are getting closer, you hear what you can only really describe as a non-specific ruckus.
Oh no.
Hmm.
I'm now incredibly suspicious of the man that runs the East River Confectioners.
You mean you went before?
Before I was unsure whether he was knowingly a part of it, and now I'm pretty convinced he is.
Hmm.
And if he's not, he's probably dead already.
Yes.
Right.
So, what can we see when we get close to the building?
You get closer, you find just the townspeople. They're all fighting each other. Bertrand sitting outside of his shop.
Who?
Bertrand, the guy who ran the shop,
Alright.
sitting outside of his shop. He's on what can only be described as a throne made of like hard candy, like Werther's originals.
A throne.
Oh.
Yes.
Is he just
And
is it on the street?
there are
Okay.
outside the shop, there are two large jelly snakes either side of him, and a congregation of jelly people behind him and around him. and just the people in the streets are just fighting. Just brutal, like punching the shit out of each other, kicking people on the floor.
As in madness is broken out.
Like just fighting like animals. Bertrand has chains coming off of him. You can't see where the chains end, but again, in the sort of center, the sort of people fighting form a circle almost around this. There is a large hexagon, probably about 60 feet across.
Oh no.
The hexagon is formed of chains that are moving around each other. Again, the chains don't seem to begin or end anywhere. But in this space, it seems to be about 60 foot as far as you can tell.
Curious. Are any of the houses around open that we can sort of sneak into and observe from there?
All of them are open, completely abandoned.
Okay, let's go into a
I like that
side
plan.
shop and observe from afar.
Yeah, you go into a little cafe actually that primarily overlooks the river, but has a good view consequently of the shop and the square. Where
So these moving chains look like they're part of a machine.
the chains, they don't look attached to anything. As far as you can tell, they don't begin or end. It's just...
But they're moving.
They are moving. But
Right.
you can't see through what mechanism.
Okay.
Yeah, you go through this little cafe, it's got a little second floor of seating that looks out onto the square. And yeah, you sit there for a bit and you look out and just everyone's fighting. Bertrand's just smiling to himself. Around the square with the chains, there are more of the little mini northern lights that happen. The whole time the shockwaves and wind pressure have been happening every 5 minutes or so. And
So what's
what
happening
happens,
when
what's that?
someone's getting beaten? I mean, are they just being left in a wreck? Are they being beaten to a pulp? Are they being thrown
for the
towards
most part,
something?
people are being beaten to death. And there'll be like, most people are leaving them, but there's a couple that are like cannibalizing.
Oh,
These people have gone mad.
these people are under some sort of monstrous spell or magic or something.
How big are the snakes next to him?
They are, let's say, about the size of the easiest comparison I would make is about the size of a bus each. They're very large jelly snakes.
Okay.
And they're
Well,
they're made like 3 different colors.
sort of start one colour,
like
then
this-
change again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like the sweets you used to be able to get.
Like
Yeah.
the sweets you can still get.
Oh, right, okay.
I think we better leave.
So when these air shockwaves are happening, is there any visible reactions? Is there anything change with the people or with Bertrand?
Not with the people or with Bertrand. The sort of haze and waviness and crackedness that you sort of noticed from you looked on it in the town seems to intensify.
This is
And
getting worse.
there's a feeling of growing like just weight.
Yes.
Yeah, just
I
things feel
think we
heavy.
better leave.
We need to find a way to stop this.
Do you want to fight that giant snake creature where all those people are fighting each other?
Not particularly.
But
As intrigued
just
as I
not
am,
sure.
I don't think we could take all of them on our own.
I think we can take it.
I would be prepared to try and get into the confectioner's shop.
How would you do that, Tilly? Are there
Perhaps.
shops all around the area, or is the shop on its own?
You're in a little cafe.
No,
the
I mean,
cafe is fairly detached.
Are there
But yes,
shops?
there are
So we
shopping
could
square, there
technically
are
go
other
between shops to get round the back of the shop.
potentially yes. Although, like I said, there is a congregation of like jelly men, sort of just around the shop and behind Bertrand. As you're discussing this, he
try.
holds up a hand
Oh no.
and just motions to the snakes. Like he motions forward and the 2 snakes just charge forward and plow through some of the people and just stay there as if like blocking off a section of the circle.
Oh.
And he looks up to the cafe and he beckons.
Are we
So-
still near my workshop?
No.
Your workshop would be a little bit further on from the square, from the east for the confection it's a
So,
bit further on,
Is-
deeper. Like
is the brawl between men, women, and children, or is the brawl just men, or just women, or...
Just
well, let's be
everyone.
honest. At this point, the brawl is mostly between men. not specifically men versus women, but men and women, because most of the children didn't really put up that much of a fight.
And he knows we're here.
No, he
He
gestured
seems
towards the building, but he doesn't
He
know
beckoned.
exactly we're here.
Did he beckon towards anywhere else?
No, just towards the building.
I think he knows we're here.
It could just be circumstantial.
It could. Oh.
We could send out Walter.
We
Well-
could go back to my workshop and get some tools. Perhaps there's bound to be a bottle of gas in the workshop. I could maybe fashion some sort of flamethrower that we could attack the snakes with.
You could use your Mothman outfit.
I could put on the Mothman outfit and see what happens.
I think I prefer the idea of the flamethrower. Mr. Gabe,
I shall go and
No.
collect.
Victor needs to go and make it.
Ah,
Mr. Gabe, do you still have the rusted sacrificial knives you found?
yes, we still have them.
Good.
Would you like them?
Yes.
There you go, madam.
Thank you. And I find a way of attaching them so they can hang off my clothes just now. Right.
Okay.
I'm tempted to try to sneak into the confectioner shop.
And you can try it, like, if you do want to go to Victor's workshop, you did leave the car as well.
True. Yes, maybe having more weapons first would be wise.
Yes.
Okay, voice in the sky. We're going back to the workshop then.
Okay, as you sort of leave the shop, and it's obvious that you're not sort of accepting his invitation, he's still sitting there, he just sort of waves, like, I'll see you in a bit, sort of thing, towards you. He doesn't seem very concerned, to be honest. And yeah, you take the car, and you go to Victor's workshop.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
This would be an ideal point for some kind of montage of Victor strapping the big gas bottle to his back,
I'm thinking have the 80s
fastening
music going in
some
the
kind of-
background.
some kind of hoses and blowtorch thing together to make a flamethrower.
That sounds like you want to make a mechanic/engineering role to me, Victor.
It exactly sounds like that. 1 second.
Do, 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 do,
Do, do, do.
do, 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 do.
No, surely it should be some sort of jazz theme.
Oh yeah. Do
Look
like
at that.
yeah. Do
And
the
I made it
A-Team
all
theme,
with
but jazzy.
one arm.
Indeed.
Yeah. You managed to rig a sort of
It's a
flare.
rudiment.
You have like a you have an acetylene torch, and essentially what you've done is you've just flared open the nozzle for it. So rather than being narrow, it sort of spreads out much wider into a
Yeah,
flame rather
It's
than a sort of
kick-ass now.
jet. Yeah, you jury-rigged yourself a little flamethrower. And because it's just based off a little acetylene, hold it with one hand and operate with one hand.
I fashioned it to be very good. It's very, very flamey.
Very flamey.
Excellent.
Well, that's one description.
There should be all sorts of tools lying around that perhaps we can fashion into some
Yes.
other kind of weapons, perhaps. Like
Well, what do you
spades, pickaxes, that kind of thing.
I would suggest a spade or a pickaxe could be a weapon in its own right.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
To be honest, it's your workshop. If you think you'd have a pickaxe, probably have a spade, yeah, you can have a pickaxe and a spade.
I make all kinds of things in here.
Oh god,
Oh god, that's not creepy.
that's not painful.
I don't know what's worse, me Cockney or me French.
Are you Cockney French?
I'm both. Anyway,
You're the drifter boy.
voice in the sky, what's happening now?
Yeah, if you want to take those various pieces of equipment, you certainly can. Is there anything else anyone else wants to do?
Right, what weapons does everyone have?
Not much.
Okay.
I want to check, see if the snow melts when heated, or if it just becomes like syrup, or if what happens to it when it's melted.
It burns again more than anything. It sort of starts to caramelize and blacken.
As it would suit my character's descent into madness, I want to try punching the icing to see what would happen.
And what icing is this you're going to punch, Walter?
The snow. Alright, the snowy icing.
And where are you going to get some of that from?
I don't know, I shall
Not here.
find some.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you get to some, I'll tell you, and you.
I want to punch something.
You
okay.
left the car on the sort of edge of it because it was hard to drive through, so you sort of come around it.
I'm going outside to go and find some stuff to punch.
Walter, we'll be going back to where there's snow, okay?
Okay.
Now, what weapons do you have?
Knuckle dusters.
Okay. Do you maybe want to pick up something with a little more range?
Bigger knuckle dusters?
Like a spade, or a garden fork, or a rake, or something.
I'm going to look around and see if I can find a steel pole.
A steel pole?
Yes.
And why such?
Because then I can use that as a melee weapon, which would extend my range.
What?
I'm sure Victor has some bits of scrap metal lying around, some of which would include sort of 8-foot long pole.
I reckon whatever anyone wants to use as a weapon, we can roll to see if we can knock something up.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I don't really have much
I
skill
feel
in
like you don't
fighting.
need to knock up a pole.
I don't really have much skill in fighting. I am a doctor, but I can punch things.
What would you like, Doctor?
I don't know, Drifter. What can you offer me?
Oh, we've got all sorts of spears and rods, and I reckon we can make some knuckle dusters, some knives.
That'd probably do me, boy.
And things that are longer range would be better.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
it's true.
I have better chance of hitting something with my fists than I do with poking things in a distance.
If I
Maybe.
recall as well, Penelope has a gun.
Yes,
Oh,
but she hasn't told us that.
Oh yes, she hasn't.
Maybe some kind of bow and arrow.
I'm sure we could rig up some kind of crossbow bolt type thing.
Or a ballista.
Oh, ballista.
We might
I
run
appreciate
Miles
the
around.
I appreciate the gusto, but I think you're all forgetting the fact that all of the shops have completely abandoned,
Yeah, so we've got as many pieces as we need. Go to other shops for things.
including gun shops.
I'm sure we can go and leave some money behind the counter for anything we want to
Well,
buy.
let's just go and get some guns then.
Yes, guns. Let's go.
I will go and procure myself a shotgun.
Sure, yeah, you all roll up to the local gun shop. The door's wide open. There's no one there.
Of course.
Has guns.
Okay, so what's everyone taking?
I'll have me a shotgun
Okay.
and a big box of shells.
I pick up a revolver.
I'll pick up a pistol as well, just in case.
I want to
Yeah.
pick up a
revolver.
shotgun, and if I can find it, I want to get an axe as well and tie it to the shotgun.
Sure, fuck it, why not? There's a hunting tomahawk.
Fantastic! I now have a shotgun with an axe attached. Yay!
I might as well. Can I just saw the end of the shotgun so it's more sort of snub barrel so it's got better spray?
Yeah, you go back to Victor's workshop, you saw off the end of the barrel.
Can I just...
It's also easier
all
to
these
conceal
people
that
that
way.
are arming up, you do know one end of a gun from another, right?
Vaguely, yes.
I mean, this is Virginia, probably do, but it's worth checking.
Well, I do, but yes, that's unfortunate background reasons.
Oh, well,
So-
one day I'll pick up a hunting rifle.
Yeah, get a hundred. Like it's similar to the one that Snide procured from his means. It's a sort of, what's the word? Bolt action. Sort of
Yeah, the
rifle.
sort I can go out sort of hunting with later.
Okay.
Nothing too huge. Sort of ladylike rifle.
A nice
And some-
lady like. Yeah. You have a nice lady like rifle. It has, you know, on the stock it has like five little
Daisies.
I guess little leather loops to put a bullet in, and you can get yourself a box of rounds as well if you so wish.
Something decent quality, well made.
Yeah, something good and American made. Sure, is everyone feeling sufficiently tooled up?
Well, I have some knuckle dusters and a shotgun. Well, sawn-off shotgun, so yeah.
I'm also assuming we all picked up some ammo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I assumed as much.
Okay, so we are armed.
And we're fabulous.
How are we going to deal with this? What's our plan?
Well, probably best to kill... What's his name? The one in charge. Anyone good at sniping that can hit him from afar?
I would suggest going for the snakes first.
Yes, but he seems to be in control of them, so
And
maybe
what
if
if
he
they-
dies, something will happen.
Okay.
Anyone good at sniping?
No.
Need someone with good eyesight.
I have
It's-
some skill in it, but it's not wonderful.
Probably best Victor.
I've done a little hunting, but not a huge amount.
Victor or Penelope then?
Penelope, I reckon Penelope's got it in the bag.
I think Penelope. And then we shall try,
Make
because
it
it's likely that the rest of us will need to be in at closer range.
Yes.
Okay, right, yes. Okay, so I still want to try and get close enough to Bertrand to use the sacrificial daggers on him.
But I thought we were shooting him in the face first.
Yes, that's fine. I'm just skeptical that... Please indulge my paranoia, Doctor.
Fair enough.
Okay, does anyone else have any suggestions?
I think I'm going to try and charm him a little to distract him from people approaching.
Well, we haven't got there yet.
I'm talking about when we get there. I'm thinking of the
So-
grand battle plan.
How are you going to charm him?
By having a conversation.
I'm gonna hang back until it all goes south, and I'm gonna wade in with my flamethrower.
That does sound
Yes,
like
I
a good
approve
plan.
of that plan, Victor. I'm not sure if we want to get close enough to talk to Bertrand before trying to kill him. It seems like we might lose any element of surprise that way.
True.
There is also the possibility that taking out Bertrand will not stop what's happening.
It won't stop what's happening, but he looks like he's in charge. We might create more of a sense of confusion.
True,
That would favor us right now.
it would. It certainly would. Maybe once he's gone, the townspeople might...
Stop killing each other.
Yeah, we can hope. Okay, I think we're as prepared as we might ever be.
Alright, so yeah, you take the car back to where you left it before, and you make your way back towards the cafe area, I guess. The crowd has definitely thinned out. It's been an hour, maybe hour and a half, since you were last there, and the fight has progressed. There's certainly less people fighting. The snakes are still where they were. So yeah, what's the plan?
Get to somewhere where we can see him without him seeing us easily, I think.
Yes, I think we should split up. It'll got him to spot us less.
The upstairs room we were before seemed to have a pretty good view. That
Yes,
might be
well,
a good place for our
Set Penelope.
aristocratic sniper.
Yes, the rest of us can spread around and see what we can do.
Yes. And I am aware that we may not speak to each other again. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck, God bless.
Good luck.
Goodbye.
So long, farewell.
So it is all just sort of taking up different positions in different buildings.
Yep.
Yes,
and-
I'm trying to be as close as I can to Bertrand without actually, just standing there.
Me too, I need to get in range with my flamethrower, so I'm gonna stay on the ground floor and try and sneak as close as I can.
Yeah, I guess the best thing then would be for Victor and me to sort of take to the alleys. Sort of
I'm
hiding
going
in.
after snakes first.
You're going after the snakes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You're just going straight at the snakes.
Yeah.
No, I think we're going to send Walter in first.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going in
Walter
first. Cannon fodder!
Okay. Walter walks in. As he goes through the little channel, snakes pay him absolutely no attention whatsoever. And Bertrand smiles and says, "Ah, I see you returned from my home. What did you think? Where's everyone else at? They have no reason to hide, you know."
It's absolutely fabulous.
Did we think to arrange a signal, by the way?
Yes, you just sort of shoot whenever we think Walter's... Well,
Okay.
whenever you get a good shot, really.
We're sitting there, taking aim and waiting for a good shot then.
Okay.
Okay. He's just talking to Walter. Yeah. The voodoo lady, I suppose, is what you would call my mother.
What was your mother? Lovely lady.
Well, she wasn't a mother as such. I was born from their faith and from their sin.
Is there any other
And
way?
I couldn't help but notice that I heard the cries of my children,
Did you?
and so I decided to push things along a little bit.
Oh, how did that go for you?
Well, it seems to be going quite well, but I decided this wasn't appropriate for you and your compatriots.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yes, as I said, where are they? Where have they been?
I don't
I
know.
hope my jelly men get rid of them all.
They're not very nice people, so I just can't tell you.
Can everyone roll a perception?
Pass.
So yeah, you notice the chains coming from Bertrand seem to be tauter than they were before, and the sort of hexagon of chains in the middle is moving sort of around each other faster, and it's also gotten smaller.
Oh no. Something's concentrating.
Have I got a decent shot yet?
Yeah, the shotty doesn't seem to be protected by anything.
Okay, I'll take aim and spend a while getting aim so that I've got a bit of time, and then try shooting probably badly.
Yeah, just roll shooting. Yeah, you shoot him, allow a crack, and the bullet hits him directly in the forehead, and his head splitting almost exactly like it happened to the jelly man's shoulder. And he sighs, shakes his head a bit. He beckons towards where the shot came down. Come on,
How can he
this is
beckon?
all
He's
for
not
you.
got a
Come
head.
down. No, you beckon with a hand.
Oh.
Yeah, and his head's still there. It's just sort of split open.
Did the snakes react?
No, the snakes are still just holding the sort of channel.
Okay. I'm gonna try and sneak closer. This
Yeah.
feels like an incredibly bad idea. But
Yeah.
that would be street smarts.
Yes, I would say you're sneaking through the streets. Through the alleyways, yeah?
Just
Ooh, yes. You do manage to get closer. You are currently hiding behind a little hot dog wagon thing. And it isn't too far away, it's a little bit behind Walter.
okay.
Again, he sort of shouts out generally, primarily towards where he was just shot from. Come on, this is all for you.
I thought his head was split open.
Yes. It
Yes,
doesn't
but his
seem to
mouth
affect
isn't.
him.
Oh, you mean sort of from the midpoint up?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Alright, I thought you meant the entire head. Okay, cool.
He sort of gathers around either side of his head and starts sort of squishing them back together. It doesn't really close up as such, but it's sort of there. It's not perfect by any means.
Okay.
I sent you all to my home so that you could become part of something more. And you burned my children. So I've got something special for you. So please let's just talk.
Talk, is it?
To be honest, I've been planning this for a while. I just decided to push things forward a little bit.
Shoot him again.
I'm going to try and sneak forward again.
Yeah. Again, we'll go with street smart. Yeah, you quickly dash behind the newspaper dispensers.
hmm
Behind one of them.
So how close am I to him now?
About 15 feet.
Okay. I could shoot him again, or I could continue trying to get close enough to stab him with the daggers. Although that might not work either.
I'm going to try shooting him again, but aiming a fair bit lower this time.
Through the heart.
I was actually thinking more through the groin, because even if he's jelly, that's still going to have instinctive reactions.
True.
True.
That would work.
It does require me not missing.
He tuts as you're lining up your shot. And as you're squeezing the trigger, he motions like a quick finger flick. One of the people fighting looks up and jumps in front of him and takes the bullet.
Goodness.
Where did they take the bullet?
Where did the bullet hit?
Yeah.
It hit the guy in roughly, like one of the kidneys. He's just lying on the floor. He's clearly bleeding to death, but he's just lying there. He doesn't seem terribly concerned about the fact that he's clearly bleeding to death.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'm going to try and move closer. But this time, if he spots me, I intend to just rush at him with the sacrificial
Mhm.
daggers.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh no!
You actually trip over the man who just shot,
Mm-hmm.
and he looks down at you and smiles and says, "Ah, I knew there were more of you. How are you doing there?" He seems perfectly jovial and quite pleasant outwardly.
Honestly, I'm pretty freaked out by all the stuff you're doing.
I'd like to take advantage
Oh,
of his
are-
attention.
Some people would say it's quite uncouth, Miss Tillywhite, to burn scores of babies alive.
And what about the men that you murdered?
A trifle.
Is that any more or less than a trifle than all the lives lost at that plantation? Whether by your hand
Then-
or your mother's.
Do you concern yourselves over the lives of a chicken? Or even an elephant?
Elephants are people too.
So tell me, Mr. Royston,
Bertrand,
what are you?
I have yet to find a word for what I am. Said I was born from my mother's faith and her sin. A
You are a
being,
product of her blood sacrifice.
not even that, I am a being of her thoughts and conviction, of belief and of act.
That's a lot of ingredients.
I am simply what I am,
And why this? Why murder?
because I am creating my world, in a world that you will thankfully count yourselves lucky see. I am
So-
using these people's faith, these people who fight and die for me, to do so. They will bring my world into reality.
Can I walk towards him?
I thought Walter was reacting.
I was waiting till finished.
You can pick yourself up and sort of walk towards them.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk towards him, but not in a threatening way. As I do so, is there any change with the chains?
The chains aren't reacting to you at all.
Okay.
I want to try something possibly a little stupid here, but we'll give it a go. I would like to use my kind of shotgun axe to use the axe to attempt to break one of the chains.
Yeah, sure. Roll.
Yay!
Yeah, the axe, it glances off it, it scratches it at worst.
Oh,
He's definitely not happy about the fact that you're attacking the I assume the sort of chains in the middle.
yeah.
Yeah, not happy at all that you're attacking those. No, you will not break another one of my things.
My hand slipped.
And some of the jelly men from behind him start advancing towards you. This time they are like, it's not the sort of marionette with half of its strings cut sort of walk. They are advancing.
They've learned to walk.
Slowly but surely. They aren't running,
Okay.
they are walking towards you, but they're walking.
Okay.
Right.
Did the chain being damaged change anything other than Bertrand's irritation?
No, the chains are still moving around each other. They're still slowly getting, the ones off of Bertrand are slowly getting tighter, and Hexagon is slowly getting smaller.
While this was going on, I've moved forward now, so I'm kind of in range of everyone. I'm hanging back out of view, but I've snuck up and I'm kind of in range of the snakes now.
Yeah, that's fine. Are you going to do anything while you're there?
I'm gonna wait and see what happens.
Okay.
I suppose I'll keep moving around as well.
Yeah. Where you're sort of moving to? What?
One of the
across
buildings around the side so I can rush out and attack if needs be, but I'm sort of still staying back for the moment.
Yeah. You find yourself, you're hiding in a little bookshop, just in the sort of ground floor. There's actually a smashed window that looks at the square. That
Okay.
would let you sort of charge them quite effectively.
Fair enough.
Bertrand looks down at his feet as if he's just noticed something. The dagger that you were holding when you charged, sort of, you dropped it and it towards him.
Mm-hmm.
He sort of picks it up and is like, "Ah, how quaint. I remember these. The last time these were used, when the cattle revolted and killed my mother.
Yes, we're aware.
It's a nice little memento if old and rusted and very quaint, and he just sort of tosses it back at you. And sort of clatters down on the floor at your feet.
What is the surface of the square that we're in? Is it cobbles? Is it paving?
It's cobbled, but it's got a sort of thin layer of this snow icing.
Mm-hmm. Could I use both of the knives and jam them between the cobbles, but within the links of the chain that's moving in the hexagon?
Yes, let's just roll I'm just going to say d20 for that. I don't know what you would roll for that specifically, so let's go d20. Yeah, one of them sort of sticks in and sort of is stopping one of the sort of areas of the chain from moving. But yeah, like I said before, you can't really see a beginning and an end to all of these chains, and it seems like there's 6 different ones of them in each sort of end of the hexagon, and you've stopped one of them.
Okay.
Again, he's not happy at this.
Okay, well, things that make him unhappy seem to be better for us, so...
Some more jellymen start again, advancing towards you in the chain.
I'm going to try it again with the other knife on a different chain.
Go for it.
Yes!
Yeah, it just stops another one of them dead. Just as soon as it goes into that link, it's just stops completely dead. Bertrand's sort of facade starts to fall. He gets much more angry. No, stop now.
Oh,
While
does
he's
not like this.
While he's distracted, can I just walk up and shotgun in the face?
Yeah, roll a shooting.
I don't have high shooting, but it'll be fun if it lasts. It does!
You shoot him just in the back of the head. It splatters across the cobblestones, and he slumps down. Nothing else changes.
Okay, while he's down, I'm going to come out, strike up the flamethrower and try and melt the snakes, because I presume they're just made of jelly.
Yeah, you jump and go, aha! And roll a shooting.
Oh, that's a good roll.
It is a good roll. You start burning the snakes. Again, they're not moving. They seem, in absence of any other sort of command, they're just going with the last command. And yeah, they start to char and burn. Their posture starts to sag a little bit.
How are the people affected by his head being exploded?
The people are still fighting. The jellymen are still advancing towards Tilly. In fact, I would say now, the jellymen that were going towards Walter have probably caught up to him and are starting to just sort of grab at him, for want of a better term. Roll brawling.
Okay.
Oh god.
They can't seem to get a hold of you. Actually, you chop some up with your weird axe shotgun. And you're fending them off for now.
Can I check through... Is he wearing a robe or something?
He's just wearing a suit.
Okay, can I quickly
Just
check through his pockets while his head's gone?
Yeah.
See if I find anything.
Just roll perception.
Perception. That's a fail.
He seems outwardly like he was just trying to look normal. He has a small amount of money, a pocket watch.
Yep, having those.
Small, like, tortoiseshell comb for his hair. Keep himself looking alright. Although he probably won't need that anymore.
Yeah. Is he wearing any jewellery?
Not really, nothing beyond the pocket watch, really. In terms of, like, I guess what you'd call jewellery.
Yeah, like rings and bangles and stuff.
Yeah, no rings or anything. As you sort of finish looking through it, one of the jellymen sort of walks up to Bertrand, and it pulls its own head off. And
Oh no.
puts it onto Bertrand's neck.
Yeah, I knew that was... I had a feeling.
He sort of...
Can I just smack it out of the way
sits
if
up
he's
again.
doing that?
You can try. Roll. What are you doing to smack it out of the way?
Oh, brawling.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to hit it with anything, like if
No,
you hit it with you.
Just try and twat it out of the way.
Yeah.
But no, fail.
No, it doesn't bother it. Bertrand sort of cracks his neck, and his face starts to form on this head. Yes, Was that strictly necessary, Doctor? I feel that doesn't fit with the Hippocratic Oath.
Well, neither does being a jellyman.
But I am not a doctor. I am but a humble confectioner.
Yeah.
Do you even have a heart?
Technically, no.
Then you don't follow the Hippocratic Oath.
I constructed one so I might
They did pump
experience
caramel.
what it is to be human. It doesn't really pump, to be honest, it just sort of sits there. I did my best, but I'm no miracle worker.
You seem to have given up rather easily.
Who said anything about giving up?
Well, you did. You said it sits there, doesn't do anything.
It does enough. It makes me to feel a little bit more human.
Because it sits there. Dear man, you've created these jelly men, and all you're contented to do is settle for the mediocre.
They do enough. As you will soon see.
Does the one without a head
they
slump
do.
to the ground or just stand there awkwardly?
It just stands there. It's just walking into things. Just bumps into a trash can and falls over.
Can I try shooting at one of those chains, please?
Yeah, roll a shooting.
Ooh.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't break the chain, but you can see the link that you hit sort of sag a bit. If that makes the chain you hit is definitely down.
So has it busted a link open?
Yeah, but the link hasn't come out, if that makes sense. It's still sort of holding together.
Yeah, okay. How quickly is the chain moving?
It's at a fair clip.
Okay.
It takes a while for again, looking at that sort of broken link, it takes a while for it to come back round.
Yeah.
The size of each sort of side of the hexagon is now about 10 feet now. It doesn't look like it's moving 10 feet, it looks like it's moving further than 10 feet before it comes back.
Right. Okay, it's clearly connecting with something else. I'm going to do a perception check and try to find more things that I can use to jam the chain.
Yeah, roll your perception.
That was good timing.
Yep.
It is. There is this other dagger. No, you used both the daggers, didn't you?
I've used both of them.
Just give her my doctor's bag. Full of scalpels.
Same sort of one, yeah.
I'm gonna take some of my tools off my belt and see if I can jam a screwdriver in one of the chains as well.
Yeah. Do you know what you find? You find an arm, essentially. A human arm with a fairly significant piece of bone sort of just exposed that would sort of fit the bill.
Okay. So I'll use that and try to block another link of chain.
Can I examine the hexagon?
Yeah, roll perception, just to examine the hexagon.
I'll let Talia roll first.
Yeah, you jam the sort of bone-in third section of chain.
Okay, so that's 3 of them down.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, they are clearly moving. Each chain is clearly moving further than of the...
Is there a way of blocking the mechanism?
You can't see a mechanism. Like I said, there's no sort of beginning or end to the chains.
Yeah, but the chain's
you
running
cannot
through
see what they
something.
connect. No, it's literally just a hexagon of chains about maybe a foot and a half off the ground. You cannot see what they're connected to at all. They don't appear to be connected to anything as far as you can see.
Can I slide a scalpel through the chains so they can't move anymore?
You can try.
Pretty much, yes.
You slide a scalpel through 2 of the chains. Again, they stop, and Richard is not happy at all. And in response, he sort of throws out his arms, and a long sort of chain comes from each arm, and it goes around the sort of circle of people fighting. The people stop fighting and start just grabbing a hold of the new chain.
Time to
Try shooting
regenerate.
one of his hands, please, with the chains coming out of it, see if I can break the chain away from him.
Yeah, you can. Hands. Yeah, you shoot him above the wrist, and the hand comes away. The trade sags again where he's holding it, but all the people in the sort of circle are sort of holding it.
But is it coming out of his arm? Or is it just there?
It looks like it came through his sleeve, if that makes like a magician's trick almost.
Okay.
But again, you can't really see into his sleeve as to where it came from.
Okay. Don't know what to do.
Well, we need to delay him, and the only way you can delay him is destroying the head so we can't speak for a few turns.
But he doesn't seem to need to speak to be doing the damage.
Well, either that or we need to destroy this mechanism, whatever it is.
If we can stop the chain from moving, that will help.
Well, how many chains are still moving?
There's only one currently moving.
Yeah, stop that one then.
Can I try and cut through it? Because the flamethrower I'm using is essentially a welding torch. Can I close the nozzle on the front of it and try and cut through one of the chains with the welding torch?
Yeah, let's say roll a mechanics / engineering for that. Yeah, and the snakes have just they're melted.
They are puddles of sugar.
Yeah, they better have melted by now.
You cut through one of the stopped ones. There's a sound, just a crack. As you can see, the two sort of ends sort of shoot off in two different directions. You cannot see where they go, but there is sound. It just sounds like metal screaming, stone cracking and breaking.
That sounds good.
There's a few
Can I cut
sort of
for another one?
splats. You can try. No,
Oh, you can
can't.
look it.
You could look at if you wanted.
Might as well.
How are you going to do it though? What are you going to do differently?
I'm just gonna keep going at it until it melts. It must be getting hot. Crank up the gas coming out, so the flame burns hotter.
Grab the gas, yeah. It's obviously burning a lot less efficiently then. It's using up a lot more gas to do so. But you cut through another one. Again, just metal screeching and stone breaking, just klezmic sounding sounds. Bertrand sort of looked towards you, Victor, as he sees what you're doing, and he just shouts one command, which is pull. And all of the people holding the chain pull. And roll a d20 as you feel the sort of weight increase and get heavier. Just you. Yeah, it knocks Victor to the ground. The sort of shockwaves are getting much faster. The chains that were blocked, two of them, the one held with the bone and the scalpel breaks, the bone breaks, and they start moving again. Everything starts to feel much heavier. The lights are flashing much quicker. You hear, it almost sounds like glass shattering just all around you.
Oh fuck, it's stone cold.
As everybody, all the people start to get ready to pull again.
When you say pull, how are they pulling?
They're just pulling on the chain.
Is it
One
pulling
big
one direction?
Synchronized. They're all pulling opposite from Bertrand, and as they're pulling, the chains that are coming out of Bertrand sort of move towards him. Like the ones coming out of his back and the rest of his body move in towards him.
I guess we better continue breaking these chains.
Yes.
Might as well.
So the bullets wouldn't get through them in one shot.
Shotgun to the chain.
Yeah, roll your shooting.
I might as well use some. Can I use luck to go number 2 or just by 1?
You can spend 2, but like again, what you're going to do differently.
Stylishly reload and put both barrels.
Sure, you crack the breech and you sort of twirl the shotgun. 2 shells eject themselves from the centripetal force, and you smack 2 and you pull it. And yeah, you shoot one more of the chains. Again, it snaps, it screams, it screeches, and Bertrand starts just shouting, "You nothing, you will change nothing.
What's getting the biggest
Just give
reaction?
up." You make the chains being broken.
Well, it seems to be the only thing that's really pissing him off, so that definitely seems like a... Right, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to try and shoot the chains with the revolver I picked up.
Go for it. Yeah, it's much smaller caliber thing compared to the shotgun. So again, it doesn't really break it, but it does cause visible
Damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Would I have time to try and shoot it again before it disappears?
Like that damaged section?
Yeah.
No, it's moving very fast. Even without the sections that are missing, it's sort of getting smaller still, the radius. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
It's closing in.
Perimeter of the- Yeah.
It's concentrating.
So yeah, it's covering the area it has to cover quicker as well. So there's less of an area. Or less of a distance.
Are there any more chains that are stopped?
The only one that is left stopped is one left that has been stopped with one of the daggers.
And there's 2 that are still moving, yes?
4.
Yes.
4. No.
4 was it not?
Because
No,
John
there's
cut
4
2.
that are still...
Victor cut 2, I cut 1.
Okay.
So there's 3 left. One of them is still moving.
Okay. Right.
No, 2 of them are still moving, sorry, and there's one with the dagger in it that's stopped still.
Right. Okay.
Can I try again and cut through that last one?
The last one that stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll your mechanics again. Yeah, it goes clean. Yeah. Again, as you do, Bertrand, he just roars again. Just pull. And again, in synchronicity, everybody pulls. And there's an intense weight. And there's more cracking. And everything just goes pink.
Ooh.
And everything smells sweet. And was very peaceful all of a sudden.
Pink and sweet. Nice.
No, you have not been turned into jelly babies.
Good. I'm glad
It
to hear
is much, much weirder.
We're fucking unicorns.
And on that note, we draw this episode to a close. Thank you for listening. The podcast featured Ben, Nikoli, Dragon, Daniel, Graham, Ash, and John. The Call of Penance RPG was written by Ben Simpson. Artwork created by John Moore. All music was written and performed by Daniel Boström. If you would like to support Penance RPG, we have a Ko-Fi at kofi.com/penancerpg. If you'd like to support all our future projects, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/penancerpg. All support is appreciated and gratefully received. Thank you, and good night.